I'm escorting Margaret to an appointment to see a quack.
He is a highly regarded medicinal expert, Thomas. I've been having the worst aches in my wrists from typing. And what this office here?
Calls, darling. You'll be safe.
I will.
Make way. An aeroplane. Never did like them. Always falling from the bloody sky.
It says Arcadia. Given the size of the pilot, I'd say it's a woman.
And the crash hardly surprising. Why do I feel we've seen this before?
Sir!
My God.
I believe it's landing.
Not landing.
What have we got, Murdoch?
Sir, some sort of flying machine.
Sir, I think the pilot is still in the machine.
Be careful, George. Don't touch any of the metal. It may still be hot.
Bloody hell, Murdoch. You don't think that...
No, sir. I don't think the pig was in control of the aircraft. Except this time the aircraft is piloted by a human being. And given the heat from the fire, I would say this aircraft was fueled with liquid hydrogen.
Liquid hydrogen? What's that?
Liquid hydrogen isn't an explosive. It's a propellant. Project D isn't a projectile, it's a rocket.
Crikey.
It certainly isn't intended to carry an explosive.
What's it intended to carry, then?
Me.
You.
The intent of my invention is the exact opposite of war, Murdoch. I seek nothing less than to be an ambassador to a world beyond our own. The moon, Murdoch. I intend to go to the moon.
Sir, I believe we may be looking at the piloted version of Джеймс Пендрик's rocket.
You don't think this had anything to do with Pендrick?
Sir, I don't believe anyone in the world but Джеймс Пендрик has ever built a functioning aircraft fueled by liquid hydrogen.
Well, the pilot's a woman. Meaning if he built this thing...
And he's responsible for her death.
This is the aircraft?
What's left of it? What have you learned about the pilot, Miss Hart?
Very little, I'm afraid. She hadn't had any children, nor suffered any broken bones. Beyond that, I can't tell you anything given the state of the body.
We still have no information as to this aircraft's origin.
Nor the whereabouts of Джеймс Пέντрик.
There were a few items on the body that didn't burn in the fire. A piece of melted gold.
Could be an earring, a piece of jewelry.
Perhaps. But this was of the greatest interest. A piece of metal that had withstood the fire.
For it to withstand a liquid hydrogen fire, it would have to be made of tungsten or some other steel alloy.
Something on the back.
Yes. Ashmi. I know that name.
There's somebody I'd like you to meet. This is Ashmi, my assistant.
The way you are looking at me is both flattering and uncomfortable.
Pendrick's assistant. I remember her. She betrayed him.
Murdoch.
James.
It's gone.
What's gone?
The grano, the formulation, my research, all of it, it's gone.
Slow down. What's happened?
I left my lab last night to get some rest. When I returned, Ashmi had vanished, and all my work along with her.
I hate to say it, but she may have been planning this all along.
But she made one mistake. A letter addressed to Ashmi from Panama City.
Who are you? Identify yourself. You. Pendrick's assistant.
The name is Ashmi, detective.
Was she working with him again?
For her to have this sort of tag, it means she was involved in this Arcadia project in some official capacity.
But she was an expert in pharmaceuticals. Why would she be working on a rocket-powered airplane?
I know someone who might be able to tell us.
This is private property. You must leave.
Detective Murdoch, I need to speak with you.
Dr. Kemps is not here. My name is Svetlana.
When will she be returning?
Soon.
Soon. This is a matter of some urgency.
He returns presently.
Janice Kemps is a man? Джеймс Пέντрик.
Hello, old friend.
The exploration of cosmic space by means of reaction devices by Konstantin Tsiolkovsky.
It outlines the means by which man can travel to the planets. I had to travel to Russia just to meet the man, and ended up with his brilliant daughter.
My brilliance is like the moon next to your sun.
Svetlana Tsiolkovsky. We meet again. I assume you know why you're here.
I have no idea.
We're looking for James Pέντρικ. I suspect you have some idea of his whereabouts.
You suspect wrong.
We found a wrecked aircraft this morning on Gerrard Street. It was powered by liquid hydrogen.
I know nothing of this.
My constable found these in your residence today. Schematics for an experimental aircraft.
Yes, I was designing a specialized airplane with James. It was to soar great distances in order to deliver medicine around the world.
Medicine.
James discovered an antibacterial drug that would be systemically active.
You mean it could cure bacterial infection anywhere in the body?
He called it antibiotic medicine. It would cure all disease. His dream was to have it aerosolized and distributed automatically over every city in the world through a mechanism on the long-range aircraft. We called the project Arcadia, autonomous rocket-charged aerosolized dispersal aircraft.
Also the Greek word for utopia. Did it work?
We never got that far. Before it was completed, James disappeared.
And what about Ashmi Desai?
The who?
Mr. Pέντrik's former... I believe she was the person piloting this aircraft when it crashed.
I've never heard of her.
Did Mr. Pέντrikk recently have cause to replace you as his assistant?
If he did, it would break my heart. I love James, Detective. I always have.
Well, this appears to be the aerosolized particle device she spoke of. Good Lord.
What? What is it?
I've only seen this sort of solution once before.
I put a bullet between the only eyes that ever trusted me completely.
Your dog contracted rabies.
Yes. And I swore no man would ever have to go through what I did.
So you attempted a cure?
I read everything I could. There was so much unknown. I wanted to experiment, but rabies takes weeks to manifest. I needed a version of the disease that would take days at best.
So you teamed up with Dr. Quinlan?
Yes, and we succeeded in creating a strain that breached the blood-brain barrier.
Instant rabies.
Hello, gentlemen. Clegg, how's the eye?
How did you know, Clegg?
Soldiers of Columbia have 1,000 eyes that never close. It's how we knew Mr. Pέντrikk had created the most terrifying disease humanity has ever seen. And we couldn't let that go to waste.
No! Julia, no!
If Mr. Pέντrikk has the cure, she will live. And if not, well, you've seen the film.
Julia.
Pέντrik's instant rabies. He says he took to spray all over Toronto.
Someone did. Rabies can be transmitted via aerosolized particle through the eyes, nose, and mouth. If this had been detonated, it could have killed everyone in the city.
Why would James do that?
James was a man of peace, not war.
It's not yours. I will not have my name on a war machine.
You betrayed your country, sir.
We have but one life, Murdoch. I have to be true to myself.
I think you're correct, sir. I don't believe James Pέντrikk was behind this.
That's exactly right.
Térenς Mάiερς. Why am I not surprised?
And why are we correct?
That James Pέντrikk is not behind this because James Pέντrikk is dead.
I can't believe James Pέντrikk is dead. How did it happen?
Pέντrikk and I had been working together for much of the past year, but several months ago...
He'd been working with you. I wouldn't expect that given your history.
Must be Myers. He's in the launch room. Don't like him snooping around in there. Not before I'm done with it. I'm gonna launch myself into orbit, Murdoch. Tonight. What? What is it? He's inside the rocket. What? What the devil is he doing?
Oh.
Hey! Hey! No. He couldn't have. Myers! Myers!
Pέντrikk is not without his faults, but the man is a genius, and in this case, our aims aligned. He wanted to rid the world of disease, and Canada had the money to fund it.
The Canadian government didn't have other purposes for a long-range, rocket-powered aircraft.
So what happened to Pέντrikk?
There was a fire in his laboratories several months ago, and there were no survivors.
An accident with the liquid hydrogen?
No, I believe it was a murder by an operative of the Ottoman Empire.
The Ottomans? How do they know anything about James Pέντrikk?
Ironically, through one of Pέντrick's own inventions.
What on earth is this device?
Images and texts are processed by the computer and then transmitted to local receivers, which are connected to a network. We call it cellular telegraphy. All our transmissions are first recorded to a coil of magnetic wire.
What am I looking at here?
He was a participant in our face space.
Face space?
When a group of people gather together in a mutual conversation, we call it a chat space. When they transmit images, we call it a face space. It's just marketing.
Oh.
So you can send a message to anyone in the world with this?
If they have a portal, yes. They currently have 1,000 machines. We want to make that 1 million, and then 1 billion.
Pέντrikk Parlor? I thought he shut that down.
Well, the parlor is the machine, so as long as people use them, they exist.
What did you know about it?
Canada became aware of Pέντrick's parlor as an alternative means of encrypted communication, much more secure than trusting a mail carrier or telegraph operator. Unfortunately, the Ottomans gained access.
Not so secure after all.
These days, we have much more secure passcodes. In the past, everyone used the names of their pets.
George Crabtree, I presume.
Yes, we met yesterday.
Not by name. I'm Melody Struthers, assistant machine instructor. So I was able to reverse engineer the passcode.
And it was Tesla, so?
Tesla was the name of Pέντrick's dog at the time. Coincidence?
Yes, it has to be.
What was your passcode?
Violet.
Who's Violet?
She was my dog. But this is Pέντρικ we're talking about. I mean, he's trying to save humanity, not destroy it.
But the Ottomans cracked the code, intercepted our messages, found out about Arcadia, and conscripted someone to steal it.
How?
They used sophisticated recruitment techniques to find a vulnerable Canadian parlor user in something called chat space.
They turned an ordinary Canadian into an Ottoman agent simply by typing a few lines from somewhere around the world?
Murdoch, manipulating a simple mind is easier than one might think. One simply has to inundate the target with misinformation, and then convince him he has to commit acts of treason in order to save the world.
So Pέντrikk was killed by some half-wit sitting behind a computer?
And that half-wit stole the plans for Arcadia, built a biological weapon that is capable of killing the citizens of Toronto.
How do you know about this?
We monitor all parlor transmissions.
Then why didn't you simply stop this plot to kill all the citizens of Toronto?
Because we didn't know if the threat was credible. We didn't know that the Ottomans actually had instant rabies. Plus, Pέντrik's parlor is filled with a myriad of schemes, many of them nothing more than the fantasies of schoolboys. It is indeed a chaotic web of darkness.
Why the Ottomans?
Because the Ottomans have aligned themselves with the Germans and the Austrians against the Entente. They anticipate a war the likes of which the world has never seen. With this technology, it ends before it begins.
By exterminating the enemy.
We need to find out who did this before they try it again.
Even if some parlor half-wit was able to steal Pέντrik's schematics, there is no way they could build the Arcadia. They would have to have had help. Oh no. She's gone. Miss Tsiolkovsky, stop.
What are you doing? Why did you run?
You built Arcadia, didn't you?
It's true. I did. But I had nothing to do with turning it into a weapon. I built it for love.
Svetlana!
James! James! Oh, how did you find me?
Who are you working for, Miss Tsiolkovsky?
I don't know his name. He's from the government. He told me we would split $4 million. He told me the rocket would never have to fire.
Why?
I did it for you, my love.
Me?
You are the greatest man I've ever known. What you could do with $2 million. Forget the moon. You could bring to mankind all the benefits of science. A brave new world will be yours to create.
Whatever she did it for me. Perhaps I'm not such a bad judge of character after all.
James and I have always loved each other. I wanted to complete his vision.
You did it with the help of the Ottomans.
What? I don't know what you mean.
How did the rabies virus end up on the aircraft? And why did the aircraft crash?
I don't know.
Then why did you lie to us?
I knew you would blame me for the death of Ashmi.
So you did know?
A group of James's former assistants came together. Myself and Ashmi, as well as Sam Trenwith and Melody Struthers.
It's gone! Ashmi!
Yes, Mr. Pέντrikk?
Where is it? Who's been in my safe?
No one. No one but you.
And lastly, my assistant, Mr. Sam Trenwith, without whom I'd be entirely lost.
Now, that is just shameless flattery, but it does happen to be true.
Sir, we went through the contents of Mr. Trenwith's desk. He seems to have an odd preoccupation with Mr. Pέντrikk, sir. We found the poems.
You knew he was going to test his theory.
I couldn't let the information get out, not on the eve of the share offering. James needs that money for phase 1.
Mr. Trenwith, there isn't going to be a phase 1. Mr. Pέντrik's flash won't work.
As of this particular moment, maybe, but James will figure it out. He always does. He is a genius.
Whatever did I do to deserve such loyalty? I believe he was in love with you.
I'm Melody Struthers, assistant machine instructor.
I'm not sure what that means.
It means I write coded instructions for the machines, and Professor Harding gets the credit. We'll be working together. You come up with brilliant ideas, and I'll explain in boring detail why they can't work.
Are you also considered indispensable to the future of humanity?
I'm needed for my innovative approach to applied mathematics.
Ah, indeed. Dr. Arden, this is Melody Struthers.
Do you know what this is all about?
Not the foggiest. And if anyone else does, they're not saying.
We all wanted to honor James. We would never betray him by building a weapon.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but James Pέντρικ is dead.
We feared this might be the case. We worked on Arcadia hoping every day for his return, but knowing perhaps we were building his monument.
Thomas, where were you? You were supposed to pick me up at my appointment.
Bloody old woman, I've got things on my mind.
Don't speak to me like that.
Margaret, James Pέντρικ is dead.
Oh, no, Thomas, I'm so sorry.
So am I.
Excuse me. Sir? James Pέντrikk.
Murdoch.
What's so amusing?
Nothing.
What are you doing here?
I just popped in to see my old friend Tommy Two Cakes.
I told you about that.
You like the name fine enough.
I ran into James at the World's Fair. He showed me around.
Not as much as you did me. Your inspector is a man of great appetite.
I just wish I'd had time to see everything the fair had to offer.
You might have, had you not spent so much time on Mr. Ferris's wheel.
It was like flying.
Man's achievements, when gathered together, are an impressive sight.
You can say that again, James. Those Egyptians were a clever bunch. I never knew that about them.
We flew.
Sorry, Murdoch.
We flew over the falls. Well, that was something.
Yes. Yes, of course. But you know what is interesting, Thomas, is that Egyptians aside, the most impressive achievements on view at the fair have all come into being in the last 10 years. I'm leaving on the next train, but it is a journey fraught with danger. I only wish I had a partner.
Sir, are you quite sure about this?
Of course he is. It'll be the adventure of a lifetime. Tom, the journey begins.
If you only live once, why not make it forever? Come here, Margaret. I'll miss him.
Of course you will. I'll go home and make some dinner. William, you are welcome to join us.
Thank you.
You all right, Murdoch? You probably knew him the best.
Oh, I don't know, sir. I suppose you're right.
Sir, look out!
James Pέντrikk.
Detective Murdoch, we meet again.
It's flying! We're flying!
What did you expect, ma'am? I'm James Pέντrikk. You've all noticed these. They're very easy to use. Simply affix them like this. Now, prepare to be transported to a new world. A world where all your senses are engaged.
Moving pictures are this century's predominant form of entertainment. I'm willing to bet on it, for young and old.
I highly doubt that.
How many bombs have you defused, Murdoch? 2? That's 2 more than I.
I have an extra gliding suit, Murdoch. Are you all right, Murdoch? We parachuted late.
I flew! I actually flew!
Yeah. It's quite something, isn't it?
Yes!
The launch tube and control room are over there.
I flew. Sir, I don't think James Pέντrikk would want our tears. He would want us to clear his good name.
You're spot on, Murdoch.
So, progress.
We'll be keeping Miss Tsiolkovsky in custody until we know more. But I believe another of Mr. Pендrik's assistants could be the Ottoman operative we're looking for.
Figure it out, gentlemen. In the meantime, I'll be taking the rabies. It's an asset of the Canadian government.
Fine. We don't want it here.
Where is it?
What?
The rabies vial. It was right there, and now it's gone.
Then the operative we seek is within this station house.
That vial was stolen within the last hour. We've checked Miss Tsiolkovsky, but she's clean.
One of your constables, then.
My men are trustworthy.
I'm sure most of your men are trustworthy, sir, but one of them may well be a spy. Should kill them all, just to be sure.
It could also have been the chief constable, or myself for that matter. Do you propose to kill us as well? Every man here will be checked. No one comes in or goes out until we find the vial.
You have the afternoon to find the culprit.
Where are you going?
I have to attend to a matter of all you know.
Mr. Myers, just as the chief constable and myself could be the culprit, so could you.
I beg your pardon.
You were here in the station house unattended the entire time we chased down Miss Tsiolkovsky.
Murdoch, have I ever lied to you?
I'm Lyle Anderson. And you are?
I became God.
It's time for the truth, Myers.
I've told you the truth. I never did say McCarthy was real. I just neglected to tell you he wasn't.
Enough lies, Mr. Myers.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You actually own an insurance company?
Yes, I do.
No, not at all, sir. I regret if you inferred that I was inferring that...
Enough.
I cede the point. Go ahead.
What's this?
I was testing a newfound pen. You quite finished?
I don't trust him, Murdoch.
Neither do I.
Do you think he took the vial?
I have no idea. But I'd like to find out what he's up to. Do you still have the Pендrик portal in your office?
No. I got too wrapped up in it.
Look at this. Someone sent out a photo of a cat hanging from a clothesline. Bloody priceless.
I was going to throw it in the garbage, but then Margaret took to it.
Your wife has been using a Pendrik portal?
She types non-stop. She's at it night and day. Margaret.
This is Brackenreed. I must say, I'm surprised to learn that you are a parlor machine user.
Oh, it's a marvel. I can speak to anyone on here. We trade recipes and remedies. I found out about the man who's healing my wrist from a parlor user.
You got medical advice from a stranger communicating to you through a computer? Why not seek care from the Women's College Hospital?
I like to do my own research.
I told you. Addicted. Margaret, we need to use the portal for a few minutes.
Fine. Just let me know when you're finished.
Put the kettle on. What are you thinking, Murdoch?
Well, sir, I believe the slip of paper in Myers' pocket is his passcode. If so, it will grant us access to all of his communications, no matter how secretive. Have you gained access to the machine yet?
Not yet. You need to reconfigure the passcode manually.
What's in here, then?
Hopefully Mr. Cormac's latest transmissions.
So you can send a message to anyone in the world with this?
I want to bring the world together, Inspector. The free exchange of ideas between people and peoples.
I just want to send a message without talking to anyone.
I've managed to access some of the blocked sections.
Bloody hell, he's naked. Myers keeps the passcode in his pocket.
He said the government mandated greater security. A random string of letters and numbers is much more difficult to remember.
Well, how did you remember it? You only saw it for a second.
I don't know. I just remember things.
It worked.
Right. A number of messages reference a specific location, a 77 Amelia Street. It must be the location of some sort of government asset.
Another aircraft, perhaps?
Possibly. He calls it Jade Neck Prism.
What's that?
Perhaps it's a refractory weapon of some kind. Oh, here, sir. A message from Myers just this morning, telling someone that he will be at the Amelia Street location later today. And that person then in turn replied that the access protocol has changed to ask for Mr. George.
So he's there now? What are we waiting for? I told you, addicted. She didn't even put the kettle on.
Just the Sims.
Must be the wrong place. Maybe 77 Amelia Street is code for something.
Pardon me, sir. We're looking for Mr. George.
There is no one by that name here.
Let's get out of here, madam.
Sir.
King George. How did you find me? Forget about that. What are you hiding from us? Did you take that vial?
You are on the site of a top-secret operation. You have to leave now.
Tell us what you're hiding. And what's this jade neck prism? A weapon?
I will tell you nothing. Both of you, out!
Oh. He's not hiding a device. He's hiding a man. What? Jade Neck Prism. It's an anagram. Dr. Janice Kemps. It's an anagram for James Pέντrikk.
Hello, old friend.
All right, come out.
An anagram for James Pέντrikk.
You're alive.
Indeed I am.
And you're working with Agent Térence Maiers?
In a manner of speaking, I was kidnapped and placed into servitude by the Canadian government. Myers is forcing me to develop Arcadia as a tool for war.
As a deterrent.
Regardless, I'm being held captive. Again.
Mr. Pέντrikk?
Now, Mr. Pέντrikk, tell me what I need to know.
Any success, Mr. Pέντrikk?
Not as yet.
That's unfortunate. See, I'm under some time pressure here. I'd hate to think you were stalling.
I'm working as fast as I can. What you're asking is difficult.
Not as difficult as failure. Let me assure you.
It's for the good of Canada. Have I not made you comfortable? Provided you with every resource, luxury?
I am literally shackled.
Because if you weren't, you would run, and if you ran, you would be killed.
Myers, this is bloody mad. Where's the rabies virus?
Stolen by the Ottomans, presumably. However, just like Arcadia, we have no idea how they stole it.
Well, I might be at fault there, actually.
I beg your pardon?
I've been hiding my true progress on Arcadia to prevent you from weaponizing it. Instead, I've been feeding my research to my team.
Your team? How?
I used your portal.
It's impossible. We monitor all transmissions on the portal.
We use a backdoor channel engineered by Cat Lady.
Your pseudonym is Cat Lady?
Yes. I like cats.
Melody Struthers, but clearly the plan was folly. Someone must have infiltrated my assistant's operation and weaponized Arcadia.
One of your assistants has been compromised by the Ottomans?
Any idea who?
No, but I know who it isn't. And she can help us.
James, I feared I would never see you again.
Hoping we would be reunited is the only thing that gave me reason to go on.
All right, enough. Please, who is the spy?
Well, I know it wasn't Svetlana. We installed a failsafe on Arcadia, a self-destruct feature that only she and I knew about. She's the only one I truly trusted.
It's true. I destroyed Arcadia.
Because it had been outfitted with a biological weapon.
Yes. I discovered Ashmi was a spy. I confronted her and she tried to kill me. I escaped. When I saw Arcadia taking off, I knew I had to stop the operation.
Why didn't you simply tell us about all of this?
I trust no one but James.
Any other assistants?
They fled. That was always the plan if something went wrong. I am so sorry. James, I destroyed our dream.
We've saved every man, woman, and child in the city.
All right, well, if Ashmi was the spy, then that problem is solved. But the vial was stolen after the crash, which means that someone else working in this station house is also working on behalf of the Ottomans.
What is this?
Oh, this is Ashmi Desai's identity tag.
No. This.
Oh, it's a filigreed medal of some kind. I assume she was wearing jewelry at the time.
This does not belong to Ashmi.
Of course.
I'm Melody Struthers, assistant machine instructor.
The gold plating has melted off, but this is the tie-pin always worn by Melody Struthers.
So she's the one who died in the crash.
Ashmi knew I was onto her. She must have known her flight could be compromised.
So she was forced into the pilot's seat and her identity tags were exchanged. Oh, Melody!
Detective Murdoch?
So Ashmi is still alive, but she was never here. How could the vial have been stolen without us noticing?
It's her.
Ashmi? What does she want?
James.
Ashmi,
Hello, James.
what do you want? Arcadia?
I already have the plans to rebuild Arcadia. I want you dead. And I have something to trade. Mrs. Brackenreed.
She has your wife, Tom.
Margaret, are you all right?
Thomas, I'm so sorry. I met her at the parlor and she said that your life was in danger and that stealing that vial would save you.
Enough.
If you harm her...
Bring me James Pέντrikk, or your wife will be injected with a dose of rabies that will kill her in a matter of minutes.
What? No! No! Ah!
I'm sorry, Tom. Pέντrikk's too important.
You're gonna let her die!
Oh, it will be all right, sir. We just need to focus. Now, if Ashmi intends to use the rabies as a weapon, then we could...
It's dangerous, Murdoch.
We would only need to...
I have some in my lab.
But of course, then we would have to...
It's too big.
Unless...
Of course. I will return to you. I will return. All right, Ashmi. You have me. Now let Margaret go.
Not until I am certain. First, you must die.
Fine. Do what you must.
No, Pέντρικ, you mustn't.
There. It's done. Now let her go.
Thank you.
Only a matter of minutes now. Are you ready to die, Джеймс Пέντрик?
Not just yet.
What is this?
The antidote. Aerosolized.
The house is surrounded. Ashmi Desai, you are under arrest.
What happens to Ashmi now?
She will be coming with me. She stole the plans for Arcadia and needed Pέντrikk dead so he wouldn't build it for Canadians.
And what about Svetlana?
She and Pέντrikk will also be coming with me, as they will be rebuilding Arcadia.
This is outrageous. I caught your spy and returned honorably. Svetsi saved the city from total eradication. We deserve our freedom.
Pέντrikk, the world will be at war unless one side, preferably ours, doesn't have the deterrent to stop it. The jobs are not done.
I don't think so.
Get out of the way, Tom.
They're free to go.
They are not free to go. Get out of the way now.
James saved my wife. You were willing to let her die. If you want him, you're gonna have to go through me.
Demand you step aside. Now.
No. Murdoch, get them out of here.
The government of Canada commands you to step aside.
I take orders from the king. And the king is instructing me to knock your bloody head clean off, sunshine.
But is the world still not in danger? Térens Maiers has the plans for Arcadia that had been stolen by Ashmi.
The plans are useless.
Much like the self-destruct feature, there are several crucial pieces missing from the written schematics. Only Svetsi and I know the missing elements.
We had to keep the technology from falling into the wrong hands.
The only two people who can rebuild Arcadia are standing right here, and we will never do it again.
But not even to cure humanity of all diseases?
Humanity cannot be trusted. Thank you, Murdoch. Once again.
I hope we meet again someday.
Given that every time we do, the fate of the world seems to hang in the balance, I sincerely hope we don't.